had to use the law of surprise. I had to use the law of surprise, and I had to be like, oh, you didn't expect me to out you in front of everyone, right? So all he could do was punch a screen, which only incriminated him more.
Let me ask you.
That is a grown man in Johannesburg on a satellite feed tell-all punching a television camera because a producer in Los Angeles asked him a follow-up question about his gambling. His fist connects with the lens. The audio clips. The camera tilts. And the woman on the other side of the split screen, his legal wife of 6 years, mother of his child, the person he's on this call with, does not flinch, does not gasp, does not look surprised. Because Tiffany Franco has seen this exact move before, off camera.
Stupid, but this is a small win for someone with a problem like himself. So although I was disappointed, I told him, okay, we can get past this, but stop lying, stop telling me I'm crazy when I know what I'm.
I have the proof. The receipts era delivery. Tiffany in a Columbia sweatshirt in her mother's Maryland kitchen waving printed screenshots of a bank statement. Ronald has taken $250 off her debit card from 7,000 miles away to wire into a South African casino account. She is narrating the fraud the way a podcaster narrates a cold case. And here is the thing nobody is saying out loud. Tiffany, in this moment, is radiant. Because the proof is the point. The proof is the episode.
Like a Google bill of divorcement, like, hi, I Ronald now divorced Tiffany, signed Ronald, like
and
that.
Then this goes back. This explains.
Let's count these. Season 1 of The Other Way, 2019. Tiffany moves to Johannesburg to marry Ronald, discovers the addiction, declares she's done. Episode 7, Reconciliation. EAS 6, 2021. Tiffany is back in Maryland with the kids, declares she's done. Episode 12, Reconciliation. Single Life S2, 2022. Tiffany is dating other men, declares she's done with Ronald permanently. Episode 9, Ronald calls, she picks up. Reconciliation. Each time, she is done. Each time, the cameras arrive, she is redone. The franchise has not once filmed a Tiffany season that did not feature the phrase, I'm done with Ronald, and also a return flight to Johannesburg.
He just wants to be
If
the
you
good
buy
guy.
something from Amazon, like they just drop it off on your doorstep, they don't ring the bell.
Exactly, but I'm the bad guy. I'm refusing Christmas gifts for my kids.
Tiffany has 2 kids. Daniel, from a prior relationship, now a teenager. Carly, with Ronald, born 2020. Daniel spent his formative years being dragged to and from South Africa so his mother could workshop a divorce that never takes. Carly has, since birth, been the focal point of a custody conversation on network television that has involved literally 6 separate tell-alls. These children will never not be famous for this. This is their SEO.
I was taking Tiffany out on a date.
Honestly, you're a snake.
And the Maryland base, the mother's house, which has become the show's recurring set. Tiffany's mother's living room in Columbia, Maryland, has been filmed so many times it should have a Wikipedia page. There is a specific couch, a specific painting, a specific ficus. Every Tiffany storyline ends on that couch. Every return to America is edited as an arrival at that couch. The couch is, at this point, a more committed co-parent to Carly than Ronald. This is not entirely a roast. The couch is stable. The couch is where Daniel does homework. The couch is where Tiffany announces she's done with Ronald. The couch is where she unannounces it 6 episodes later.
Her son, and she found out from Ronald that it all stemmed from some issues he had with gambling. When she got there, they planned to get married in South Africa.
Ronald. We have to talk about Ronald. Ronald has, and this is a matter of public record, not a roast, a rap sheet that includes DUI, speeding, drug possession, burglary, theft, and armed robbery. Most charges were dismissed, one was not, and collectively they form a wall tall enough that the United States Visa Office has repeatedly declined his kid one. He cannot come here. He cannot meet his own daughter on American soil. He is, for visa purposes, permanently Johannesburg. Tiffany knew this before she married him. Not suspected, knew. He had disclosed it. The paperwork was in the episode.
Ronald and I have been married for about 6 weeks now. And ever since we've been married, we've been planning on expanding our family.
Okay, press the call button. Let's do this.
And the rehab arc. Ronald went to rehab on camera at Tiffany's urging, and on camera declared himself clean, and also on camera was out on a bender within, by the production clock, about 6 weeks. This is the length of time between seasons. The rehab stay was exactly as long as the edit required it to be. The arc timed itself to the show. It is, I accept, also possible that Ronald relapsed because addiction is hard. Both are true. The edit, though, is lying when it pretends the two 60-day sobriety windows around season 4 correspond to any therapeutic reality. They correspond to a production calendar.
Not some, all, right? I accepted in the past, you you have this idea of what you want, and if they meet 1 or 2 or 3 things, you're like, good enough.
There, she said it. On the premiere, she said it to her mother. She said it to the producer. She said it directly to the camera. I knew his past. I chose to marry him anyway. I believed he had changed. This is not a woman duped. This is a woman with a stated thesis. She had a thesis. The addict can be rehabilitated by love. And she has, across 6 seasons of television, been testing the thesis with her own life, on camera, for money. The thesis is not holding. She keeps running the experiment.
I was like, I'll change whatever I need to change. I'll go to South Africa. I'll drop everything. I'll forgive the past. I'll let everything go. So in that moment, he was like, and I swear these are his words. And he said this even recently.
Let me add a receipt. In August 2023, South African outlets reported that Ronald was being accused by multiple people of accepting payment for solar inverters that he met or delivered. The inverters, for context, are the backup generators South Africans have to buy because the national grid fails daily. He sold the apparatus of surviving a blackout and didn't deliver. This is not a gambling addict's desperate fumble. This is, allegedly, the operational model of a small-scale grifter. Tiffany filed for divorce the same year. Tiffany also, 2 years later, shot a new season of a new franchise spin-off called 90-Day Hunt for Love. The check cleared.
Because he always wanted me, so I'm the one who magically changed him. Girl, don't worry. I've been there too. I thought I was going to change. Good luck.
Privet. Because here is where I start paying Tiffany some respect. The weight loss arc between seasons, Tiffany lost, by her own public count, about 80 pounds. She made a whole content pillar out of it. TikTok, Instagram, weight loss specific accounts, before and afters, the whole playbook. This is not nothing. This is a woman who, in the middle of a televised divorce, took control of the one variable she could, her own body, and launched a brand out of it. The franchise pretends this is adjacent to her arc. It is the arc. The Ronald plotline is the advertisement. The real business is the Tiffany brand.
This is crazy. He then adds this on Instagram today after.
Listen to how she delivers that. Not, I'm a single mom. Not, I'm a wife. I'm a content creator. spoken in the voice of a woman who understands exactly what career she is in, which is woman from reality television who now distributes her own reality on her own channels. The Ronald storyline is her IP. The addiction narrative is her franchise. The gambling, the custody, the 7,000-mile satellite feed, all of it is, for her, unmonetized footage she has turned into an 80,000 follower Instagram account and eventually a podcast.
Ronald, okay? So earlier today, I shared the details. They announced their split on Instagram. Oops.
And this is where Reddit goes wrong. The top threads on Tiffany are all some version of poor Tiffany, she deserves better. Which is true in the ethical sense. Of course she does. Anyone does. But wrong in the structural sense. Tiffany does not need Reddit to pity her. Tiffany needs Ronald. She needs him exactly as chaotic as he is. The day Ronald gets sober and finds honest work as a plumber in Durban is the day Tiffany loses her season renewal. The franchise knows this. Tiffany knows this. Ronald, drunk, gambling, broke, is the only person in the...
People are finally seeing who he is and what he's worth, and
that's what I was planning to tell all for, because I knew if I gave him a chance to prepare himself, he would prepare really believable lies. So
I owe him a chance. This is the line that repeats across every season, every final decision. She is always giving him one more chance. The word she keeps using is owe, which is a curious choice. Because what she owes Ronald in the actual tally of this relationship is close to zero. She funded his apartment, she funded his rehab, she funded the plane tickets, she funded the lawyer. She has been the entire economic engine of the Ronald estate for 6 years. The chance is not a debt. The chance is the storyline. She owes the show another act.
And she goes, I know it's a game of chance mainly, but man, he don't ever win. Or wait, actually, he doesn't ever walk away because he thinks he's going to get another MoneyGram. Damn stupid.
because we were sending him MoneyGrams, both of.
Second pivot. Ronald, in his most Barack move, accuses Tiffany on tell-all of sleeping with the TLC cameraman. Names him. First name. On air, the cameraman has no recourse. He is, by guild rules, not even allowed to appear on screen. Tiffany denies it. Ronald doubles down. The franchise edits the accusation for maximum reaction shot. And then, and this is the detail I cannot stop thinking about, neither Ronald nor Tiffany ever mentions the cameraman again. Ever. He is accused on one episode and is by the next erased from the timeline. This is the mechanics of a marriage that runs on television. Accusations are plot points. Plot points don't need continuity.
What is it?
And what about Daniel? Does Ronald have any communication with him at all, or is that?
So Ronald has asked me to download WhatsApp for Daniel numerous times.
And Daniel, the older son from before Ronald, Daniel is probably 14 by now, which means Daniel has spent, let me do the math, the majority of his ambulatory life inside a production shoot. Every birthday captured, every move to and from Johannesburg captured, every argument about his stepfather captured. There is a scene early in the run where Tiffany has to explain to preteen Daniel on camera why the family cannot live with Ronald in America, and Daniel stares at his lap. That shot is seared into the franchise. That shot is, in a real sense, the emotional center of the Tiffany seasons. The show keeps using it. Daniel, the actual boy, is 8 seasons older than that shot now. Nobody has asked him how the shoot went.
And for the record, like, once you got to South Africa,
Let's do the walk back, because it's owed. Tiffany is a single mother with a complicated custody situation in an international marriage she cannot, for legal reasons, dissolve easily. She is a real person with real kids and a real bank account and real exhaustion. The performance of her stuckness is not the same as the fact of her stuckness, and both are running at the same time. She is genuinely in a difficult marriage. She is also genuinely leveraging the difficulty of the marriage into a content pipeline. A woman can be trapped by the storyline she authored. That is, in fact, the most 90-day condition there is.
Even though I come from the different culture, I feel like love is love everywhere in the world.
But here is the structural reveal. Tiffany is not the only cast member in this position. She is the genre. The show is built on Tiffany's. Women with a specific skill set, they can be married to a disaster, narrate the disaster to camera with full emotional range, promise to leave, fail to leave, go home, monetize the going home, and return for the next season to promise to leave again. This is the only reality show in America where the producer's dream scenario is wife does not follow through on her own stated plan. They need her not to leave. She needs them to meet it. The will she...
Let me see. Tiff 4. I'll just post these because
Yeah, what the point I'm trying to get at is don't play me. Don't make me a pawn in you trying to make her feel more secure.
And we have to talk about the fridge, because it is a detail that the franchise tossed off in one confessional and never returned to. And it is, for my money, the most revealing sentence Ronald has ever said on camera. Ronald admitted, quietly, on the HEA couch, that at the bottom of his addiction, he pawned his mother's refrigerator. Then the car. He literally went to a South African pawn shop with the family appliance and came home with a betting shop ticket. There is a level of desperation in that sentence that should have, in any functional context, ended a marriage immediately. Tiffany nodded and said she would support him through recovery.
Only after this whole thing happened, me and Lauren became friends, and we shared screenshots of how he would say to me, my bucky, I need to pay it because my mom, or my rent, or I need to get this thing from the pawn shop. I don't know what I'm going to do. He would say the exact same thing.
Fast forward, 2025. Tiffany is cast on 90-Day Hunt for Love, the franchise's spin-off where previously filmed cast members get another spin at dating. She is, at this point, legally divorced from Ronald on paper. She is also still texturally married to the Ronald narrative. In the first episode, and the edit makes this explicit, her 3 sentences of self-introduction include, literally, the phrase, my ex-husband Ronald. She is using him as her tagline. She is, 2 seasons later, still monetizing the last episode. Ronald is now a brand asset in the Tiffany portfolio, independent of Ronald the human, who is in Johannesburg not getting any of the royalties.
To block me, that's on him. But I told him, get your daughter a tablet. He said he bought the kids Christmas gifts.
She has the followers. She has the brand deals. She has the discount codes. She has the podcast. She has the weight loss. She has, and this is the end game, the clean split between Tiffany on TV and Tiffany as product. The product is what she sells on Instagram, and the product is built on the back of the TV, and the TV keeps booking her for as long as she delivers Ronald material. If Ronald dies tomorrow, God forbid, but also not unthinkable given the rap sheet, Tiffany is materially out a season. This is not hypothetical. It is the actuarial truth of her career. Ramp. And in the final tally, the franchise gave Tiffany what she was actually seeking. Not a husband, not a cop parent, but a public identity. She is famous. She is recognized. She has, in the phrase she keeps using about herself, a platform. Ronald is the cost of the platform. The drinking, the punches, the casinos, the inverter scam, they are not bugs. They are the subscription fee. She didn't fall for Ronald. She cast him. And the show has been shooting her screenplay ever. If you made it this far, you either love me or you're looking for something to yell about in the comments. Either way, like, subscribe, and tell your sister.